how long is C-section recovery and what am I gonna need to heal and what actually helps? If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Chelsea. My husband Drew and I had our daughter in the summer of 2022, and as parents we have learned a lot along the way and we've decided we're going to share that with you. Today we're talking about C-section recovery. After 3 hours of pushing, I was wheeled away into an emergency C-section, and when I came out I was completely unprepared. Now, I've already talked about what happens after you have a C-section in a previous video, so go ahead and check that out if you've just had a C-section or you're planning on having one. I do quickly just want to say that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm just offering this information based on my own experience, so if you have any medical questions, you should definitely consult with your doctor. Today we're focusing on the very practical aspects of your C-section recovery. So my first and my major tip is to get a tummy band. Now, you might be thinking, what is a tummy band? Here's a photo of it right here. This is going to be a band that provides support for you after you've had your surgery. Like I've mentioned before, C-section is a major operation where they move around a lot of your organs, they cut through your abs, and you are going to need some support while everything is healing. I just want to clarify that this is not a waistband that helps you bounce back or get in shape, or this is not something that's going to help you get your figure back. This band is strictly to provide support for all of the craziness that your body has just experienced. Right after you have your operation, it's going to be a little more challenging to sit and stand. I remember when I came home my first night, I was like so excited just to sleep in my own bed after being in the hospital for 3 or 4 nights, and I went to lay down and then my daughter started crying and I realized I couldn't get back up without help. That's why the tummy band is so helpful. It just provides support and makes you feel like everything is all tucked in and cozy and where it's supposed to be. After a C-section, I'm just going to be honest, everything feels really loose. Your abs have been cut through, your organs have been moved about, and it's honestly just like a little bit feeling like jello down there. So this band provides you with the support to do all the necessary things you need to do throughout the day, like standing and walking. Now, I didn't wear my band 24/7. I chose to wear it for certain hours of the day. I definitely didn't sleep with it because that's not comfortable, but I did wear it for most of my day and I found that it really helped. How long you wear this band after recovery is totally up to you. Looking back on my recovery, I wish I would have worn it a little bit longer. I think it wore for only 2 weeks. I wish I would have done like a full 6 weeks, which sounds a little dramatic. I really think it would have helped me. I think around the 2-week mark, I was struggling with a little bit of anxiety and depression, which we're going to talk about in a future video, but I just so desperately wanted to feel normal. The thought of having to wear this band was not helping with that. So if you're kind of feeling that same way, or you might feel that way in the future, just know the band really does help you, and there will be a day where you feel normal again, I promise. But right now you really need to do everything you can to protect your body and keep your body feeling strong. You need a tummy band, but you also need to stay hydrated. Now listen, I know, we've all heard about the Stanley Cup, we all have Yetis, whatever it is, but you need to make sure that you have a nice water bottle that you enjoy drinking out of for your recovery. I know this is super basic, but I promise you a cute cup really does make all the difference. If you're planning on breastfeeding or exclusively pumping, you're definitely gonna need to stay hydrated to keep that production up for your child, but even in general, just for your own recovery, you need to make sure that you're hydrated. I'm gonna be honest, my favorite cup that I had was a cup that I had from the hospital. I still use it to this day. I don't know why I liked it so much. I don't want to remember my hospital stay, but for some reason the cup that they gave me was amazing and I still use it today. So even if you don't want to go and buy a $60 cup, because that is a little dramatic, the ones that they give you at the hospital are kind of nice. Bring it home with you and use it. It's super awesome. Like I mentioned earlier, I went into an emergency C-section, so there was some few things coming home that I was not prepared for a C-section. I had all my tucks, I had all my pads ready because I thought I was going to have a vaginal birth. Well, that didn't happen, and so one thing that I absolutely needed to buy when I first got home was high-waisted underwear. Because I was prepared for vaginal birth, I had the Freedom Mom underwear at home, which those underwear are absolutely incredible, and they need to be the first item that you need underwear wise for your C-section recovery. We talked about it in a previous video. If you haven't watched that, what happens after your C-section, go click here to watch that. But you know, you will bleed after a C-section. Your uterus is shrinking back down. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be shed from where your placenta was attached to your uterus. It's just a normal thing. So these Freedom Mom underwear were absolutely amazing for the first few weeks when I was still bleeding after delivery. The best part about them was that they were so high-waisted, so they covered where your incision is. They covered even part of your belly to make you feel a little bit more secure. You could throw them away so you didn't have to worry about bleeding through them or anything like that. Like anytime you went to the bathroom, you could just change them out and get a new fresh pair of underwear on. So it was also super nice because if you're wearing the high-waisted underwear, a tummy band, like high-waisted shorts like I was, and a big shirt, you kind of have a lot of layers going on there. I know that I just had like postpartum sweating. It was disgusting. And so it's kind of nice just to be able to change out your underwear. So for the first 2 weeks, I would highly recommend getting those Freedom Mom underwear. They seem a little bit pricier, but trust me, they are worth it. There will come a point in your recovery where you just want to feel a little bit normal again. You don't want to throw away your underwear every time you take them off. You're going to want to take one step forward into feeling just like a little bit more like you used to. No, you're never going to feel like you used to before you had a baby because your body's a different body now. There are some small things that you can do to make you feel a little bit more human after you've had a baby. So the second type of underwear that you need is high-waisted, high-waisted underwear. Favorite underwear that I had was from a brand called Auden, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's from Target. They're super soft and comfortable. You could still keep like a small panty liner in them if you needed to, but the material did not rub against my incision in any weird way. They were comfortable being on my belly with a belly band, and they were high-waisted. Now, why do you need high-waisted underwear? Traditional C-section scars sit right below your bikini line. So pretend this is like, you know, your bikini, your scar kind of sits right underneath it. And I don't know about you, but that's where most underwear tends to hit on women. And so you don't want something constantly rubbing up against your incision like the top of a panty line would, just because, you know, there's seams and things and it's just not comfortable. So having the high-waisted underwear prevents any kind of like rubbing against your incision and just honestly makes you feel a little bit better. Like I mentioned, I'm 6 months postpartum and I actually kept a few of those underwears in my drawer currently just in case I'm having a day where my incision feels a little bit more sensitive, or I'm wearing like a little bit tighter of a jean where I just want to make sure everything is safe and covered and there's not going to be any weird like anything rubbing up against it. So I still use them occasionally today. This is the last thing that you really need, and you're probably thinking, no, there's probably so much more stuff that I need to recover. Honestly, you don't need that many things. You don't have to buy a lot, but I will say things that I'm talking about are totally worth it. But really the last thing is you need comfy pajamas. Like you need 3 or 4 pairs of them. Like I said, I had postpartum night sweats, which is a very common thing, especially when you're on the medicine that I was on afterwards my C-section. Very common to have night sweats. So you're gonna wanna be changing out your pajamas literally every single day. You're not gonna wanna rewear them. I know I just stayed in my pajamas all day. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't feeling super out to like leaving the house. You just like literally live in them. So you wanna have a few pairs. Obviously you can throw them through the wash, but you want to be comfy in them. If you've watched literally any YouTube video about anyone talking about their hospital bag or what they're bringing to the hospital, you know they all typically get these comfy pajamas from Target. I'll insert a photo here of the ones that I've gotten, and literally there's 2 different pairs, 2 different kinds. One, the black ones that I have are super soft and buttery. They're what I brought to the hospital with me. Then I also brought like this yellow pair. They were super awesome, but they're not as comfy, but like literally it's still fine. They're still so nice. Buy just 4 pairs of these comfy pajamas and let yourself just be in pajamas. What's amazing about both pairs is that they have buttons down them. So if you're breastfeeding or exclusively pumping, there's easy access for that. They typically are a little bit more high-waisted, so you don't have to worry about them sitting on your incision. And honestly, there's just nothing comfier than a good pair of pajamas. So that's it. Those are the essential things that you need to recover from a C-section. If you're having a planned C-section, or if you're like me and you had an emergency C-section, I hope that this video helps you, gives you some good information. If you have any questions about parenthood or motherhood, leave them down below. This is just the second video in a series that we're doing all about parenthood. My daughter is 6 months old now, and we're just going to be sharing with you everything that we've learned along the way. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and my next video I'm actually going to be going into my own experience with postpartum anxiety and depression, so stay on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.